Thank you for staying with us. In a bid to revolutionize the country's agricultural sector, the federal government has launched the National Agribusiness Policy Mechanism. The policy aims to transform Nigeria's food system and create a conducive environment for investment in agriculture. Developed in collaboration with the sub-national governments and the private sector, the policy was unveiled by Vice President Kashim Shettima, represented by Deputy Chief of Staff to the President Ibrahim Hassan Hadejia at a ceremony held in Abuja. Now, according to the Vice President, the initiative aligns with the current administration's transformation agenda, underscoring the government's commitment to economic diversification and food security. The policy's launch marks a significant milestone in the government's effort to revitalize the agricultural sector and promote economic growth. Joining us in the studio to discuss this development is the founder, African Farmer Academy, African Farmer Mogaji. Good morning. It's good to have you join us.
Good morning. It's good to be here again.
Great.
Good morning.
Now, give us a sneak peek into this policy mechanism and also tell us how it would perhaps bring a shift in the positive direction in the agricultural sector.
Well, I like the word you use, perhaps. Yeah, perhaps because, all documents put together by government over the years have been very fantastic documents, okay? And I don't expect anything less of this also because there's been some engagements, private sector, governments at federal, at state. But if it is well implemented based on realities that covers climate change, climate smart agriculture, there should be a shift. And I say should be a shift because implementation is always where we always have a challenge. And implementation must, take for instance now, if you're planning food security for Maduguri, it's a different ball game from food security in Niger. So if we want to implement the same document the same way, then it will not bring out the results. So in terms of stepping it down is what I believe we need to focus on. But if we walk the document, we will be able to record significant improvement in our food systems and food security.
But can you give us a sense of what's in the document?
Well, it's not fully been thrown out. So, let's leave it at that. Yeah, so let's leave it at that. But, we have some back-end information of what's in there. It's taking some time to put it together. So, but if it's implemented and stepped down regionally and also to accommodate the realities of various states and various regions, we should be food secure in a short while.
All right.
I can relate with what you said about stepping the information down and making it peculiar to different areas in Nigeria, because some years back when I don't know if Donald Duke was governor of Cross River State, he had this big plan that Cross River State should be the largest producer of pineapple. And then you now realize that pineapple thrives only in 2 or 3 areas of the whole state. So I can understand what you mean when you say this policy is too holistic, that it should be stepped down. But what worries me is what we discussed earlier on the program. Farming is the way to go. I mean, anybody should know that. But we have security challenges. How do we marry those two?
Well, I don't think security challenge is real and actually affecting us. But I don't think it's security challenge that's the main challenge. The main challenge is that we are not leveraging what we have. The main challenge is that we are focusing on what we don't have.
How do you mean?
Okay, so take for instance now, southwest of the country. Now, during the security report, Southwest seemed to be the safest so far. That doesn't have
level of security challenge.
Yes. However, Southwest is producing the least food. Now, food is the most expensive in Southwest. Okay. However, we have a lot of large bodies of water. You know, I came in earlier in the year and said that tomatoes will go astronomically high again, you know, May, June. The only region in the country that can buffer that challenge is Southwest. But Southwest has not taken advantage of that, and it's the governors or government in Southwest. So bottom line is, if Southwest produces, leverages the season when they ought to produce, guess what? We won't have challenges. So each region, you know, we need to balance things out. Right now, a lot of interventions also is still centered around rain patterns in a region.
Yeah.
And we have, you know, it's saying Shaki yams, Southwest comes out at different times. The Abuja yams, you know, the Abakaliki. So we still need to cascade our operations around the systems. Labor is more expensive in Southwest. Labor comes more from Benin Republic, Togo, and because dollar and naira, the value of naira and vis-a-vis dollar, they are not coming in again because they come to work for a year. So when you look at it, it's not insecurity that's our challenge. It's maximizing our opportunities, which is productivity. We're not productive.
Right. And speaking of Southwest, if you look at, it's one thing for the federal government to say, yes, we want to do something, national policy or anything, just to revolutionize the agricultural system, sector. But talking about Southwest, there were times where we had the 6 governors of the Southwestern region came together, not once, you know, as regards what we need to do about our agri sector. Are you saying that with all the meetings, because based on the pointing at, you know, the Southwest, the challenges that we have, is it just lip profession, or we've not really made any headway?
The results will show in less than 30 days. At that time, they have to meet again. You know, the result.
How do you mean
so in the next 30 days, some basic vegetables would be like 500%, 400 to 500% high in price. The federal has done so much. I've been involved in some federal and state. The federal has done, I always say, too much. The states are not putting corresponding action. Lagos is doing, I always say, Lagos is doing better in terms of preparing, trying, but Lagos cannot do it. You know, they say it in Yoruba that the chicken is sweating, but the feathers is not allowing. Lagos has population, they don't have the land. They have created markets. Just imagine, one of the markets, Idioro, they sold almost 3 billion in 1 year, and it was not full-time. And it's just giving people platforms. So imagine if Ondo, Ekiti, Osun, or Oyo, you know, encourage their farmers to produce, put infrastructure and systems in place to sell one platform out of other, and Lagos is building about 5 more. So bottom line is, we are not seeing Southwest, and I am bold to say, because the results will show no miracle, they can't perform any miracle, they can't import tomatoes and peppers, they can't. So the results will show very soon. You know, so bottom line is that after those meetings, they need to cascade things down. You know, the leadership we're seeing in Lagos, in terms of preparing for food security and challenges, we need that kind of effort also to come with, especially Oyo and Ogun. They have the lands, they have the cleared lands, they have everything. They don't have any excuse. They have youths. They are closest to Lagos. Lagos pays the highest in everything. So why do they do meetings, and after the meetings, I just wonder what will, I'm just waiting that when they go for another meeting in June, what would be the excuse that we did not do anything? You know, so it's really something that makes me cry inside. We have everything. Now there's an outbreak So Rodo is very expensive, which is a hot pepper. In the last about a month and a half.
That's right.
It's due to an outbreak of a pest.
Yeah, Ebola.
No, not even Ebola. Ebola, I'll come back to that. That's the biggest scam in the country, you know, over the years. So the Rodo, there's an outbreak of a pest, you know. It came out like 2 years ago. NIHOT, the institute that has the mandate, has been working on it. They've been working with farmers, you know. But however, right now, if the South, it's not in the South at all. This challenge is not in the South.
So what are we facing problem?
The challenge is that we have not just produced in the South.
That's right.
And this is just in the North. So it just peaked this year. And there's nothing anybody can do about it.
Right.
The researchers are doing so much. In fact, they come out with a new variety. But, you know, if the South wakes up, we will be food secure.
All right, we'll talk about them waking up. We still have in the studio our guest, African Farmer Mogaji, founder of African Farmer Academy, talking to us about developments around the agricultural sector. And before we went on the break, you were speaking about the need for regions to wake up to their responsibilities, because the federal government is doing the needful, but we are not seeing productivity. We are not seeing subnationals and the various regions doing the needful to cover up the gaps that we see in the sector when we have produce across the country. I'm wondering what can be done. There's the matter of political will there where we have these meetings, but we don't seemingly see any result at the end of the day. We're talking about food security and the need to approach it holistically. But then they know these things. Why is it so difficult to take the necessary step? Because right now, collaboration across sub-regions is critical at the end of the day, knowing that if you are having issues with pests in the north, in the south, we can do something. And then we can now look at how we can do business together.
You see, it's the interest. Southwest leadership in terms of governors have alternative ways of getting money. They seek rents. The truth must be, you know, said right now. They get higher quality of rents. You know, in the north, how much do you want to rent the land? You know, but here the real estate and co. So there's too much lip service. And we have all watched the president. The last holiday, where was it? There's a small sala where he was still addressing them. That food security lies with you. There's always meat.
The land belongs to you.
The land belongs to you. So Lagos has built a motorized mill. Biggest in anything. Will create jobs. Will improve livestock, because the shaft on the back of the rice, we will use it to transform our livestock, make food, make our protein cheaper. Guess what? Ogun has the land. Oyo has the land. Ekiti has the land. Osun has the land. They should be the first set of states to take advantage. Your farmers are poor. Your citizens need better economic development. And yet the facility to make that happen is there. But Niger will bring rice. Kebbi will bring rice. The people far away will bring rice. So what's stopping us from having the same mindset? How many states in the south generally have projects like Niger? Have projects. I was in the fields of wheat in Jigawa, where the governor, they funded over 100,000 hectares. One governor. We have the lands here. Where in the southwest are you hearing of any major projects happening? It's only in Lagos. You know, it's only in Lagos.
They are building estates.
They are, you know, all of them have the lands. The people are poor. You know, it's, you know, unfortunately for most southwest governors, have operated extensively everywhere.
This matter now begs the question of how then can we achieve success with this policy, because they are supposed to drive it.
That's where the challenge is always. At the federal level, the documents are intact and, you know, can do the transformation. But the moment it gets into the states, they don't pay attention. The fertilizer that the president gave out, the 2.1 million plus that they gave out, how did it transform Southwest? None. I can challenge any governor on this. But you know the irony of things, they have many fantastic commissioners of agriculture. You see, in the history, in the last 20-something years, in fact, generally in the country, we have more commissioners of agriculture who understand the system, who have the passion, but we're not seeing results.
It's unfortunate.
So there's a disconnect.
There's a huge disconnect. Until you see Niger governor always talking about agriculture. You see, where you see things happening, the governors are involved.
Okay. All right. Ibrahim. Lagos is building a humongous food hub.
Yes.
In Ketuere, that's in Ekpe. You know, if other states, like you mentioned in the Southwest, adopt this, how will it promote this policy?
You know, if they leverage their comparative advantage, that's the first thing. They should not try to replicate, because that's what we will do, copycat syndrome. Okay, Lagos is building it. Lagos has the resources. The citizens in Lagos can buy premium. Okay, so all they need to do is to say what's the cold storage, like vegetables, like the peppers and co. Now, what quality do you need? And so they produce that quality to store.
So there's a partnership.
That's the collaboration, the partnership. You speak the same language in the region. See, there's going to be, this is the same blueprint late Awolowo embraced. If it has worked before, it can work again. It's basically that we don't have regional interest. The reason why farming and agribusiness is thriving in the north is because it's always a regional conversation.
Right.
Fortunately, I'm well exposed in the northern agriculture also. So then also, we have a challenge here, and the challenge is capacity also. We're not seeing capacity development for youth like it should be.
Yeah, there should be.
Then, you see, when Nigeria was food secure, like 6 partners were working together. State and federal, 1, the donor agencies and developmental agencies. Our royal fathers, the kings, the emirs and co, all had farms and were supporting the people to ensure that they did well. We had the corporate organizations, we had individuals. Now, then the youths were actively involved. When we say the average age of farmer now is about 60-something, they were youths then. But right now, we only have federal government.
My goodness.
And we have donor agencies.
That's right.
And individuals. That's right. So 3 core partners are pulled out. How many farms do you see our royal fathers having? And that's why you have a lot of insurgencies and co-happening, because in their domain, they've left those lands.
That's right.
And you can, nature aborts vacuum.
Well, African farmer, you know, down south, I think, do you not feel that there is this race for us to, okay, we want to tackle food security. At the same time, there is rapid urbanization happening, you know, where people are moving, especially people who are moving from rural areas down to the urbanized area. And then we're now thinking more of real estate because there's crisis for housing as well. Could that be the reason we are not looking towards, you know, tilling this land to ensure that we put food on the land? That's one. And the second one, very quickly, you mentioned something about Tuta Absoluta as you know, major scam.
So let me say this. Even we call them Ajagungbale, those people who come and invade and take your land. As I sit down here in Itoiki in Lagos State, these are agric lands. Some guys have come to say the land belongs to government. And so the land was prepared. A partner spent 4.5 million to prepare the land for us. It's just we're waiting for timing to plant, and they've come to try to take the land. And so everybody now gets scared. You don't want to go to the farm and now move to the urban center. So this we should pay. Then Tuta Absoluta. For almost 2 decades now, we've had cabals. The tomato cabal, precisely. The Tomato Growers Association. And I'm mentioning their names. You know, we have every year around May, June, there's a lot of, they come up with one challenge to siphon money from government. I am saying it. Tuta absoluta since 2016. They will say, oh, Tuta ravaged the farms. Which farms? Show us the image. Show us, use GPS. Show us. Sure. But they will say, oh, Tuta ravaged the farm. It's your off-season. You don't produce tomato in that time.
Right.
It should be southwest.
Right.
So every year they just make media and say,
and they get money
they get money and get support from government. It's a scam. I'm challenging them. So, you know, and they now come again and say government is not supporting. These are people that will not make the policy work because it's a strong cabal. So and they are not also supporting their farmers. Let me say this. I'm on national television. NIHOT, National Horticultural Research Institute, sent these same people. They created some solutions that help them to take care of tuta. They did not use it. They even donated parts to them. They did not use it. They had to withdraw it. Because tuta must happen. They had to withdraw it. Please confirm. Call the ED of NIHOT. Confirm. So they just come with this nonsense all the time, talking about state government, federal government. The associations are part of the challenges. And let me say this. If we are building mansions on bungalow foundation, these guys are the foundation, they are the people we work with. We need to work with new sets of youths and players.
Right. Let me quickly throw in this question before we go. The matter of subnationals. Can we hold them to account to ensure this policy works? Accountability and transparency.
Media has to help us there. Because it's only media that can put spotlight on them. When the media puts spotlight on them, things will work. And let me say, the private sector right now is very weary. Many people are in debt. Many people have challenges, including myself. You know, there's nothing to hide, okay? Because when these policies come out at the subnational level, they need to protect it.
That's right.
So when you don't protect it and individuals and corporates put money in it, guess what happens? They lose the money and they run away. The youths come in and they run away. They are to protect these policies and build systems around it, but they don't.
So accountability.
Accountability. But this time around, you know, we can't leave things, you know, to just go like that. And that's why we said, okay, let's create new platforms that government and private sector can work on. But it's not going to be business as usual. I will come out and talk more now. Yeah, because they are ruining our economies and the younger people that we are supporting.
And people are losing money.
Yes, you've opened another vista for research. You're talking about tuta absoluta, and we have to really look into it.
We'll have to leave the conversation here. African Farmer Mogaji, founder of African Farmer Academy. So much has been said. Thank you. Thank you. And we can only hope that this time around things work.
It will work.
I like that.
You're always positive.
It will work.
All right. Still to come on TVC Breakfast.